Hello and welcome to Proposal Writing, a class. We have been talking about different aspects of proposal. We defined what is proposal. We talked about qualities of a proposal writer, qualities of a good proposal. We discussed about types of proposal that can be applied in the real life situation. Today we are going to talk about proposal evaluation plan. First of all, we're going to define what is an evaluation plan. An evaluation plan is an integral part of a proposal that provides information on how and when you will test the project and how you will report your results. A donor will want to know if monitoring and evaluation is a part of your project plan. The proposal should always focus on guaranteeing to donor that the money they are going to invest in your enterprise or in your proposal is worth the investment. So if you are coming up with a proposal evaluation plan, make sure that you are able to sensitize and to influence the donor to be able to support you or to sponsor your program or your project. And we are saying that you must come up with an evaluation plan that is convincing and that is persuasive enough to convince your donor to be able to fund or to support your project. There are two types of evaluation plan. The first one is what we call formative evaluation plan, and the second one we call it summative evaluation plan. Let's just define what is a formative evaluation plan. And you'll know that a formative evaluation plan is an information on different phases of the project, which means we talk about the format of the way your evaluation plan is going to appear at the tail end of your proposal. And that's why it is called a formative, which means it gives us the format, or else it gives us the guideline of your proposal is going to appear in the end of the project. And you have what is called a summative evaluation plan. A summative evaluation is the impact of the project, and the evaluation plan should always have two components. We have what is called conceptual note of the evaluation plan, and have the evaluation note of the conceptual or of the evaluation plan. What is a conceptual note of the evaluation plan? This gives a brief introduction of the project and the expected outcome, because if you are coming up with a proposal, maybe you need someone to fund your project or to support your project, you must be able to come up with what you are expecting at the end of your project. There is no way I can be able to donate my money or my funds to your project if I cannot understand the main purpose of that particular proposal. That's why you are saying that a conceptual note gives us introductory aspect of the project and the expected outcome of that particular project. And for you to come up with an effective proposal, there must be someone whom we call an evaluator. An evaluator can either be an independent person who have been hired by the sponsor, probably to authenticate if indeed what you have included in your proposal is a fact, or is just out of your own imagination. So an evaluator is going to go through your proposal to ascertain that indeed what you have contextualized in your proposal is accompanied by facts and figures. And you'll find that evaluation plan usually donated by the organization or the funder, because in most cases they may not trust if indeed what you have indicated in that particular proposal is a fact. That's why they come up with their own evaluator, and this evaluator go through the proposal indeed to know if indeed your proposal is true. Then when you're coming up with a proposal, this is what we call data. And data can be categorized into two categories. How it is called qualitative data and quantitative data. What is a qualitative data that is always included in the evaluation plan of a proposal? A qualitative data is a non-statistical collection of people's feedback on the impact of the project, which means it gives us the quality of the information that you are going to disseminate or to post to your sponsors or your donors of the project. So it is a non-statistical form of data that probably summarizes the content of your proposal. Then you have what is called quantitative data. These are figures representing the project, which means the actual figures. If you maybe you need a donation or a fund, how much do you need to be sponsored in your project for it to become a success? Then you are coming up with this particular data, you must have a reliable source of information. And source of information in evaluation plan can be categorized into two. You have the primary source of information and have the secondary source of information. And you're going to find that Primary data are accurate but time consuming, whereby in the primary data collection of information, you need to participate actively as an individual. It's not whereby you're going to research, it's what you participated in the collection of your information. You could use this method like meeting. Maybe you can conduct surveys, you can conduct interviews to collect primary data information. You can also come up with the questionnaires. People are going to fill the questionnaire and they're going to give you the information concerning your target audience and the expected results of your proposal writing. And when you're coming up with a secondary form of information, you may use documented materials, you may use newspapers, you may use magazines. Others can decide to use online content or else online information, whereby you can gain research on the internet to get more information concerning your project or the purpose of your project that you want someone to sponsor you. Then still under a proposal evaluation plan, there is what we call a monitoring frequency, whereby what is a monitoring frequency? It is the first phase of evaluation plan. And monitoring frequency refers to the process of measuring and documenting the proposal contextualization process, or is coming up with the proposal that probably is going to be reliable when you present it to your sponsors or your donors. Define how often monitoring will be done and how you are going to analyze the findings and bring changes if the changes are needed. Maybe let's say you're having a project that maybe is going to take 1 year. You need to tell us the first phase of information or the first phase of the project, what you're supposed to talk about in the short-term objectives, and you also need to give us information about long-term objectives of your project. In most cases, at times maybe you're having a proposal plan and it's a changing trend. For example, at the moment you're having COVID-19. No one anticipated that it's going to bring such like many big challenges that you are going through as a country at the moment. So you need to have this particular information. Probably, let's say things don't go the way you had planned, or else you had pre-planned. You must be having the shock absorbers to be able to assess and come up with the way forward under the monitoring of your proposal. Do not overestimate or underestimate the number of monitoring phases. If you're having maybe let's say 3 phases of your project, don't overvalue your first phase or the second phase, or else don't undervalue any of the phases of the implementation plan. Plan and set up a standard timeline for monitoring the project performance. Maybe let's say your project is supposed to go for 2 years. You must say maybe after 2 years, after 2 months, I'm going to assess the impact of this particular proposal or the project, and what have I achieved so far, and which are the areas that I'm yet to actualize. Then still under proposal evaluation plan must talk about what is called budget or budgeting. Normally, foundation is always allows NGOs to designate, or else foundation normally give NGOs to give 5 to 10% of the budget for their evaluation plan, which means if you're having a project that is worth 1 million, you need to set aside 5% of that particular amount of money to be used in the budgeting process, in the budgeting activities. This may not be the case if you are applying for a small grant. If the evaluation plan, you may revisit the budgetary part of the proposal and emphasize the need for any additional budget if indeed maybe you need an additional budget. For example, in Kenya you have what is called supplementary budget. For example, the government is planning many ways of being able to curb the spread of COVID-19, despite the fact that wasn't in the previous budget. The government had to come up with what is called a supplementary budget to be able to offset the challenges that the country is facing at the moment. Even you, when you are coming up with your proposal, you must set aside adequate budget just for the case of, in sake of an emergency, or else in case of an emergency, you'll be able to fund such like emergencies. The last stage of proposal evaluation plan is what we call analysis and dissemination. An analysis is defined as a presentation, usually in the writing format. The evaluation plan should include the detailed action plan of analyzing the finding. The dissemination process is an account of what, when, how the finding of the evaluation will be shared. Let's say you have come up with your proposal and indeed you have gone through the interview and you have been able to succeed or to go to the next stage. You are going to evaluate your proposal, and once your proposal goes through, you are going to disseminate your content to your donors or else to your funders so that they can be able to fund your project. The evaluation plan is always defined at the end of the proposal. Designing a good project evaluation plan is essential, and it does not have to be too long. Always check if the fund support proposal guideline has stated and the need of what you're supposed to do as an evaluator of that particular proposal plan, which means we are coming up with an evaluation plan. You must always be in conjunction with the expectation of the organization that is going to fund you, or else you must know their policies, their regulations concerning the format of a proposal. They are supposed to be aligned, arranged, and all the content is supposed to include in your proposal before you are able to disseminate your proposal to your donors or to your funders. Thank you so much. I hope I've been able to get the main concept of proposal evaluation plan in this particular lesson. Let's meet next time, same place.